Ah, the miracle of birth, the circle of life, a bouncing, beautiful bundle of joy. The arrival of a child was a magnificent, life-affirming event that would inevitably change the course of the lives surrounding such a magical gift delivered by the great stork from the sky. Never let it be said that the new arrival wouldn't come without its own set of unique challenges, however. In fact, for some, the ability to eject an object the size of a bowling ball from one's foo-foo paled into insignificance when presented with the incessant wailing of a baby in the dead of night. Good parenting was, and is, an art form, a skill you're not born with, but one fine-tuned over the years. Sure, you'll make mistakes along the way, like smacking their heads off the side of a door frame, leaving their carrier on the roof of your car when you drive off, or getting the dog's food bowl mixed up with theirs. These things happen. But it was all part of a learning curve and, collectively, another step forward in life's rich tapestry. Absolutely nothing, however, could prepare any new parent for the complete bitch fest that was a mother and toddler group. A church hall, ordinarily a place of religious sanctity and quiet, peaceful reflection, was transformed into one of these terrible proceedings by setting down a few rubber mats, adding 2 or 3 boxes of donated toys disinfected in a bath of Dettol, and throwing a fair handful of screaming brats into the mix. Some mummies had the sickening ability to look like they'd just stepped out of a salon, with their immaculate hair only outdone by their impeccably manicured nails. They made it look easy, and usually held court at these customarily bi-weekly affairs. For most of the new mums, though, pampering themselves at all, in any way whatsoever, was only a distant memory, as was, sadly, getting 8 hours of sleep a night. For these mums, a luxury was having an undisturbed poo behind a closed door, and being fully dressed, if one was very lucky, by noon. And it was mums such as these, of the more normal variety, whose only daytime company for weeks had been Fifi and the Flower Tots, who suddenly found themselves having to prove and defend their parenting skills and credentials and general ability to survive with no sleep to other people, and where the only connection they had with these other mums was their shared ability and ultimate success at having unprotected sex. Emma had been to several of these sessions and, yes, a few people were both pleasant enough and in the same boat as she was. But, ultimately, spending an hour or so on the receiving end of condescending small talk wasn't worth the trade-off, was Emma's feeling on the matter. Jack, meanwhile, being the sage font of all knowledge and wisdom that he was, had unwisely suggested that it can't be all that bad, which was perhaps not the shrewdest of things to say to a sleep-deprived zombie with cracked nipples. And so, "Who's a handsome boy?" cooed Jack, unfastening Lucas from his child seat before reverting to his Yoda persona, which always drew a laugh from the boy. Kiss you I will, said Jack, leaning in for a vibrating sloppy kiss on Lucas's neck. "On a journey into the church we go, my young Padawan," he told the boy, and with that, Lucas was removed smartly from the van. Jack received a gurgling grin for his efforts, so felt encouraged to deliver one more Yoda-ism for good measure. "Show those grumpy cows we will, he added. As if conjured up at the utterance of the magic words grumpy cows, curiously enough, one such creature appeared right on cue. "Oh, hello," said a startled Jack, and now smiling up at the unreasonably tall woman stood before him in the church's car park. She looked him up and down in quick succession, before glancing back to a large 4x4 Range Rover that looked like it'd scale Everest with only minimal effort. It was the sort of car that Jack had only ever dreamt of treating himself to, but, aside from the prohibitive cost, figured it would be a right nightmare to park in town. "You'll need to move," the woman said curtly, darting her eyes between Jack and her vehicle. She left the beast's engine running and the door ajar. "I'm here, baby," she called back over to what was presumably a baby seated inside. Either that, thought Jack, or she was just inordinately fond of her SUV.